What's up? I'm a little bit late. My mic was acting funny, but I'm here now. Like the video as intro plays, because this was a lot.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
One, please. When you reach out to me, make it make common sense, please.
I make it make sense. Are you being nice tonight?
Big Mims. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you see. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Okay, guys, so it's been a long weekend. I've had a few people working on this, and I decided to bring it to you this morning because it's a lot. I want to start with Jennifer. We'll move into Evelyn. Evelyn was a for real deep dive, and I think I kind of understand why she acts and moves the way that she does and can be a little bit grimy. We got almost 300 in the chat. Definitely hit the like button. Your boy has done a lot of research here. Oh, let's start with Jennifer. Jennifer is a very interesting character to me. I really like Jennifer on the onset of Basketball Wives. I thought some of her stuff was ridiculously funny, which always makes for a good reality star, especially if the people don't actually realize how ridiculous they are. But Jennifer's dating history is what we're going to get into. Let's start with Knots. I'm starting to feel like, as a society, anything goes as long as the person has money. Jennifer is a person, much like Evelyn, who's very concerned with aesthetics. However, even though she was a college grad, she got with Knots. Knots admitted to not really liking her. She, all but, dogged him out. We saw at the end of their relationship, it was shown on Basketball. He literally threw a drink in her face. So at this point, it's like, you're beautiful. You have this platform. You have your own money. You really do like to let us know that you had money. Because remember, she was the same girl who didn't know what food stamps were, right? She didn't know what a food stamp was because she went to school in a Porsche. Y'all remember that? Which was true. She did go to school in a Porsche, but it's... I'll show you guys that a little bit later. Oh, no, it's right here. Jennifer wasn't lying. Jennifer was that girl that went to school with the Porsche. But at what point do you recognize that you are not following a path that will lead you to happiness? In search of money, marrying not. It sets a tone, which is why we started with her. We move on from not, and we go to Hips. We all remember Jennifer was the girl who got with Tim Hips, who ended up being an unaliver of his own nephew. He definitely was, if some people have hips, but I'm inclined to believe that Jennifer is not the kind of girl who likes men with hips because she's very concerned about aesthetics. So for her to be with Hips, I think that he was probably tricking off some money on her. And, who knows what he was doing with his mom's money, especially if he was willing to set up his nephew to be unalived. But this is, Jennifer's dating history. We later found out that Hips was also stalking her. Hips came with his own set of money because at the time Sweetie Pies was popping. They were moving into different cities. They were consistently on television. At that point, Jennifer really was not on television. So I can kind of understand latching on to somebody like that, but it's a pattern, you guys. It's definitely like setting a pattern. Then we move on to We move on to the man that she alleged stole her car, right? We had this whole big thing where she felt as if this man had stolen her car, her Range Rover. Keep in mind, Jennifer has really dived into the influencer realm. Like, technically, I don't necessarily want to be an influencer. I don't need you guys to know every time I pump my gas. You don't need to know what kind of car I have. You don't need to know about everything involving my house. You don't have to know every time I go shopping. Like, but this works well for people like Jennifer because her whole life has been about this. Are y'all seeing? This is Jennifer is very proud to say, I went to school in a Porsche. That's why I don't know what a food stamp is. It has influenced the way that she makes moves. It's influencing her life. It's surface level. If you guys are understanding what I'm saying, it's definitely a surface level type situation. That's why influencing works so well for Jennifer. Keep in mind, Jennifer does have a successful, I think she has like a clothing boutique or something, an online boutique. She has her own hair boutique. But when we're seeing the men that she dates, it's consistent. And she says, I'm asking for help finding my Range Rover that this man, Aaron Nichols, stole from me. He goes by many aliases, including Nick, Daniel, or Chris. He has conned many women and men too out of their vehicles and large amounts of cash, lives in Atlanta, and frequents Detroit, Houston, Vegas. If you have seen him, we all saw this and everybody was kind of like, what is this? She got an interview with Angela Yee, which has now turned into a actual documentary. So I think that documentary airs maybe next week. But it's going to be her, another woman who was scammed, a man who was scammed by him. So they're alleging that he is at least bisexual. He came back and said that I'm not in jail because I didn't steal anything. He gave Jennifer the money. He gave Jennifer the money to do that so that Jennifer could purchase her, I think it was the Ferrari. Again, not much has changed from when she was a child. She's still taking pictures showing you everything. And I remember this Ferrari because as soon as she came back to Basketball Wives, she drove it up in scene. And I was like, did she rent this? No. She has Bentleys. She has Ferraris. If you guys remember when that girl said, I'm going to slap you. And she said, I wish you would. And then the girl did. What she had said before that was something to the effect of, you're on the subway while I'm filling up my twin turbo V12. This is Jennifer. It doesn't go very deep. And it's always the same thing. Are you guys seeing the pattern? Started here. Nothing has changed. The cars might change. Upgraded to a Rolls Royce. But the pattern of behavior, the mindset hasn't changed. I'm leading you into this. So this is what was being shared on Lipstick Alley. And Jennifer used these shares and these people to actually do the documentary. So I've actually reached out to one lady and I let her know I'm really talking to my subscribers about the importance of vetting people. Let Jennifer be a prime example to everybody that you need to vet people who you're dating, especially in this day and age, especially if they're coming with stuff that seems too good to be true. So this is what Lipstick Alley had to say about this man. Aaron Nichols, aka Nick, and Detroit Nick. I mean, he has a lot of aliases. He is from Detroit originally, but currently lives in Atlanta. He has lived and done business in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Miami, and Phoenix, which my, PI did pull some stuff, some LLC stuff, and this person is not lying. He claims he's an ex-football player. He isn't. He claims he's an ex-boxer. He isn't. He also claims he's in entertainment. That is also a lie. He is an ex-felon and steals from everyone he knows. He's usually in a luxury car, but is more than likely stolen. He claims he's in real estate, but that basically means he steals people's identity, purchases houses, rents them from enormous amounts to drug dealers and pimps who can afford it but have no credit legally to rent and doesn't pay the mortgages. He used these flashy cars to impress women and swindle them out of money. He proposes to many of them, doesn't use rubbers, has an accomplice, Chastity Harris, who is the mother of two of his children. At last count, he had another child with a woman named Emily from Detroit as well, who moved to Atlanta with their daughter. from a previous relationship. A son in Las Vegas, about 4 daughters in Las Vegas, and a daughter in Phoenix. He takes care of none of these children and only admits to having 2, yet they all look like him. If you have any more information. So people were out for him, but are you seeing? So you jump from a man who disrespects you on television and throws a drink in your face. Now, granted, we all know she threw the drink on him first, but he got her dead in the face. You have a man not who disrespects you. You move on to another man who stalks you and ends up being not only, hippie, but also an unaliver. Now, you're not vetting the next man who comes along who you're dating just because he might have nice cars or will give you the money down payment for your Ferrari, allegedly. You're not vetting him. Nothing tells you that you need to vet him. Okay. So we move on to the next guy, Christian Gold, her fiance. And even though he's much younger, I'm not mad at it. She seems to really be in love. The information starts hitting the blogs. We got almost 900 people in here. Definitely hit that like button, you guys. Definitely hit the like button. So we have Christian Gold. And Christian Gold, is like, I think close to 20 years younger than her. But at this point, I'm like, I like Jennifer. I really do want the best for Jennifer, even if that means somebody who's younger than her that will treat her right. Because technically she's a little messy, but all reality stars are, and everybody deserves happiness. She doesn't have any children. That may not be the direction she wants to take in life. Okay, here comes this guy. They make a YouTube channel. Everything seems great. Christian Gold, except for the fact that that's not his name. His name is not Christian Gold. His name is Christian LaSalle Walden. What now? You just left a man with aliases. And let me say this. I didn't even think to look this up until somebody exposed her on Basketball Wives and she got extremely mad. And it was like, okay, well, what does this mean? It's not even his name. Okay, people change names. They do all this kind of stuff. Wait, no. This man has a criminal record. For battery and family violence, of which it was a 10-year sentence, but hold on, let me take this off. It was a 10-year sentence, but they gave him, he had to serve 7. So it was a 10-year sentence for false imprisonment under family violence and battery. So it's like, wait. Although I'm a big proponent for, prison reform and doing things that will, a pipeline to living a life crime-free. I'm here for that. People go to jail all the time. Crimes are committed. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't always have to do that. But we're talking about Jennifer here, not so much about him, because he claims now that he is a successful business person. I believe like in finance or something to that effect. He says, I actually went to their YouTube channel. He says that he invests in companies that nobody would have thought would have done well, and they've done well, and that's where his money comes from. He also claims to be an acclaimed author. I do know that he wrote a book in prison, and he said that book went out to all the prisons around the United States. Look, where you start isn't necessarily where you finish, but we're talking about Jennifer. So now we have a man who disrespects you with that big knot on his head that you never really liked, but you got with him for money. Then we have a man who unalived people, stalked you. Okay, well, maybe Tim didn't have any priors. But by the time you're getting to the third man who has all of these aliases, all of these alleged children, stole your Range Rover, did you actually run a background check on your new man before you decided to get with him? Because I haven't heard Jennifer say anything about being a stepmother, but she keeps saying that this man and her are in love. Nobody's ever treated her this well. They were engaged, I believe, within 6 months. He's younger than her, but she loves him. I believe that they said that the new guy has 3 children. I don't think that Jennifer has ever mentioned being a stepmother. That would be a big deal, right? When does it stop? At what point do you actually self-reflect and say, what am I putting out there to attract this type of individual? Now, I don't really know Kristen. I mean, I don't, he wants to be known as Christian Gold, so we'll call him Christian Gold. But, maybe he has turned his life around, but I'm talking about in terms of Jennifer. If you see that this is the person's background, you know that this isn't even their real name, or it's their name now. What point do you stop, Jennifer, and say, right, not Carly Red, it was all a lie? Maybe at some point you have to take some culpability, right?
Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I ask you, is it a coincidence?
That you're consistently attracting the same type of man, right? So, I don't want to go too much further into this because the man says he's changed his life around. And I do think that we need to give people the ability to do that. But in terms of Jennifer, it does feel like at this point, you should be looking at you should be taking a different route. But let's get into Evelyn, because I've been deep diving on Evelyn. And I want to start off by saying shout out to DJ Richie Skye. He got an interview with the woman who has been giving it to Evelyn all season. So I'm going to link DJ Richie Skye's interview in the description of this video. But yes, he got an interview with Vanessa. So I'm not going to show you the whole interview, but I kind of want to give you guys context because I know all of you don't watch basketball. What has happened is Vanessa has shook the table and Vanessa has called Evelyn all the way out. So let me make this a little bit smaller.
My gym search, which was a very difficult, and as more will unfold, everyone will get to see more of that. And that's what we started filming. I found out Evelyn was not on the cast. They told me the only people that was on the cast was Jackie, me, Brooke, Jennifer, and 3 new people or something. Okay. They would not, it was very secretive, or for whatever reason, I was told during Jackie's dinner that when she invited me to Evelyn's event. So everything that you see on is very real.
Okay.
And how that it unfolded. But that is not why I came on to comment Evelyn, so that's kind of what, yeah.
So you had been filming your own story and things of that nature had already been happening for you in terms of the filming process. Then you go to this sit down with Jackie where she tells you, okay, hey, I want to invite you to Evelyn's, Ponderosa event. Okay.
Yes.
So when you hear that, what are you thinking? Because I don't think in that moment you told Jackie about any of this, right?
No, because I'm still breastfeeding my baby. So I'm not used to drinking. And that had become a thing that Vanessa's not doing alcohol because I don't know how to be myself. And after Jackie's thing, I went home and I told my husband was there and I threw up. And I was like, I can't handle this. That's why I didn't, because it was kind of like at the dinner with Jackie, I had 2 drinks and I was probably spilling a little bit more tea than needed. So they just cut me off. And then I went back home and then I'm like, oh shit, like Evelyn's coming on. And when the situation that happened, even that it was 10 years ago, I've never met Evelyn. There was a lot of stuff that was cut out, but everything was very real. And, I don't really think there's an expiration date for pulling someone's whole card. So and everything that I say, I was authorized to say it.
Okay. So first off, Drea wants us to know that your wholeness can be deleted. Vanessa, your wholeness can be deleted.
And if everyone can look at the scenes, I don't want to jump ahead, but at the Ponderosa when Brooks, did Amy tell you to do this? I said, no. I said, but there's other people, people need to understand. I'm not reckless. So everyone just needs.
So, okay, basically what she's saying, guys, is she came on the show. Her best friend was Evelyn's baby daddy. So let's get into Evelyn. Evelyn is an interesting character. Evelyn is not only a villain, but she also plays victim. So she's definitely an interesting character. She's been a fan favorite for years, but she has her moments where she gets clowned.
Ugly. Ooh. Ugly. But I got a man, bitch. Ugly. Hey, Ocho Cinco wanted me. Ocho Cinco wanted me.
Uh, we have seen Evelyn progress through the years. We got almost 1,500 in the chat, but we only have 300 likes. We should be at least like about 700 likes, y'all. Okay, so Evelyn started off with this guy who had a really bad gambling habit. How actually Evelyn started off, the first known was Tammy's man. Tammy's man was the first basketball player that we heard about Evelyn, doing whatever you want to call it. But then this guy actually chose to wife her up. Evelyn is a beautiful woman. He was a big time NBA player, but he had a big time gambling habit. So the allegations are, before he had to pay all of his money and everything, that's when he infused a lot of money into Evelyn so Evelyn could start her shoe store and all that kind of stuff. That's the allegations. But at that point, he was already broke. So she technically had no use for him. Then we all know what happened here. By this point, she was on Basketball Wives. This is when she left Basketball Men and moved to Football Men. He was trash. She was, whatever you want to say about Evelyn. But nobody deserves to be headbutted. Like, even in a physical altercation, headbutt feels like excessive force. That feels like something you might do to your real enemy, not your whatever. Tammy said she was fighting him as well. They were having domestic issues. She found a condom, even though she had told him he could cheat, allegedly. She flipped out, maybe because he wasn't telling her, but she found a condom in the car. We all know what happened there. She moves on to this interesting looking fella called Crawford, who, Carl was at that point, I think he was making the highest amount of any baseball player. She moved franchises again. Carl Crawford I think he had like $150 million contract. So, and now Lavelle, who she has recently broken up with. But let's get into why I wanted to bring this up. I'm anybody who's in a marriage, it is your responsibility to stay faithful. I want to put that out there at the very beginning. It is the people who are in the marriage or the relationship responsibility to stay faithful. However, I'm really getting annoyed with people who knowingly go after people or date people who are in relationships and their hand is wiped clean. No, if you're that type of person, say you're that type of person. Megan Thee Stallion, has never denied messing with people that were her friends, boo or booty call or whatever you want to say. She never denied that. Evelyn is a different kind of beast. So I want to kind of go over that. And we're going to get into Carl. We got a couple things on Megan. But I want to get into why I think now she behaves the way she behaves. And what I would prefer from her is not to play victim. If that's who you are, say that's who you are. But let's start here.
It's not a bitch walking, a hoe walking, a trick walking, a jump off walking that didn't know that he was married. It's bitches that know that is mad.
So Tammy's calling her out. This is all the way from season 1.
Your ex-husband dated. And we dated for like maybe, I would say roughly 6 months.
Did you him?
We did. I'm not gonna lie, twice.
It's setting the tone. Now, what I can say is back in the day, there was no Google. However, back in the day, you still know if a person is married, if you're hanging around those circles. Because Evelyn went from a very normal dude, I believe in the Bronx, had a baby by him. And then all of a sudden, it felt like something shifted. And she went from, I'm in school, I got a baby, to now I'm going to find me a rich man at all costs. Again, it's so similar because out of all of these situations, you have the Bentleys, you have all this. Now you're still single. And here's the thing. There's always going to be somebody younger. There's always going to be somebody willing to go further than you. But she's establishing that she didn't care. And that's the kind of situation that I'm talking about.
Exactly. You think I like researched who dude was with? It was like you didn't even exist.
You were a non-factor, right? We all thought it was hilarious. But in reality, you would not necessarily want an Evelyn locking eyes or zooming in on your man, right? I'm so tired of people saying, well, this person's not in the relationship, so they're not at fault. If you are the type of person who consistently goes after people who are married for no other reason than they're rich, then yes, it's the man's fault for cheating, but it does speak to who you are as a person. You can't be the victim and also be the antagonist. It's a slippery slope. But to say that the wife was a non-factor, I always thought it was so interesting when wives thought that was funny, because it was like,
You're missing the point of what the I'm saying. You are a non-factor, bitch.
it was always so weird. What was also weird, because I told you I went deep here and I went like season to season. It was a lot. If Shawnee said this, it gave an indication that she knew who Evelyn was, which is very interesting because Shawnee, you are, the first lady of this mega church now. But this is what she said to Tammy after that situation.
Tell you, don't nobody know how you feel. I do.
The only thing that I'm sure.
Y'all want to hear that again? This is Shawnee talking to the wife who just heard that she was a non-factor.
Tell you, don't nobody know how you feel. I do.
The only thing that I'm sure.
She was crying. I felt like it was heartfelt, but it's interesting that you put her in that little car and stayed with Evelyn, even though Evelyn had really tried to embarrass this woman, right? Tammy consistently told us what we never got from Shawnee after that moment. We got 1,800 in the chat. We should at least be at 1,000 likes. Go ahead and hit that like button because we're about to go deeper than this.
Type of person that you are. You don't care about the families that you're destroying. I'm in a new situation. Kenny's in a new situation. This moment right here could have been so positive.
And I believe it. Evelyn's only concern at that point was she had gone through the own experience. So now she was a different person. She's not that person anymore. But you just got pregnant by somebody who had a full 12-year relationship, which the new girl was trying to tell us. The interesting looking man, Carl, was in a 12-year relationship, and his 12-year relationship was pregnant at the time that Evelyn got pregnant. So even though Carl was the person who owed it to the girlfriend, who owed it to his baby mama, long-term relationship, Amy, not to dibble and dabble with Evelyn, it would be very easy for Evelyn to actually find out if this man was in a relationship. Why would you be going with a man like that? Oh, wait, I forgot. He's worth 150 million, or at least his newest contract was 150 million. So who knew how much Carl might be worth, but you didn't care. All Evelyn wanted to do was rehab her image.
Give me this means you're desperately trying to prove that you're not a hoe. The truth of the matter is this. You were still married to me. You decided to call me a non-factor in my marriage. I think all hoes need to stay in their place. And the fact that the side bitch called the wife a non-factor, bitch, that really me around. Coming from my standpoint, I didn't have an affair with your husband. Okay.
Somebody said people cheat, deal with it. Letting go of $1 million bag is stupid. Well, here's the thing. She still didn't get it though. That's the thing. I am Melody. She still didn't get the money because allegedly in the contract, in the what is it called when you're getting married? In the prenup, she wanted half if he should have cheated. And he realized this ain't for me. Why do we always blame the women? Did you hear what I just said? The person in the relationship, either the man or the woman in the relationship who choose to cheat is at fault. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who consistently go after married people, especially if they just have money. That's men and women. It's not too hard not to be the mistress. And it is interesting that we vilify mistresses like Kim Zolciak, but we laud and promote mistresses like Evelyn Lozada. It's interesting. It's also interesting that it's a situation where you like who you like, so it is what it is. It's getting to the bag, right? But Jennifer and Evelyn are a situation where getting to the bag goes wrong because now they still don't have anybody. Just saying. So let's continue. It was further proof to me that Shawnee knew exactly the type of person Evelyn was when I saw this.
Yes. So Tammy and I had a conversation about Evelyn sleeping with your ex.
So we now know that the ex that was in question was Shaq, right? But look at Shawnee's response.
Never happened. Never happened. You know what, Evelyn? Listen to me. This is
If your best friend, if somebody says your best friend has messed with your ex-husband, it wouldn't even be a question like, no, my best friend wouldn't do that. But that's not what Shawnee gave.
never happened. Never happened. You know what, Evelyn? Listen to me. This is
It speaks to the bigger question of why consistently do you do this? And then I stumbled on this. It was Iyanla. Here we go. Oh, thank you. Salvation Air. Thank you for the super chat. It said hit the like button. It's free 99. Definitely, y'all. We got like 2,000 people in here. Definitely hit the like button. Let's see where we are on likes. We only got 600 likes. We should be at least 1,000. Hit that like button. Okay. So this was a really big clue as to why maybe she behaves the way she behaves. Do I want to start with this one or okay, let's start here.
Issues. You know, he was there for the birth of my daughter, but he was cheating.
Huh.
So that's why we broke up.
She's talking about her first baby daddy.
Did you know he was cheating before you got pregnant?
No.
Does that sound like what you just went through?
Yes. Ignoring.
Now, this was right after the Chad Ochocinco situation. If you are in a situation where your baby daddy cheated on you, and then you go right into a situation of trying to date ballers, the question is this a learned behavior now? She was hurt, so maybe that's why she doesn't care about the next person's family. It's never the mistress's or the male mistress's responsibility. It's the person in the relationship. However, it sets a tone and a pattern. She's done this multiple times now, allegedly.
Ignoring what?
The signs
Of?
the infidelity and
Go deeper. Drop below the neck and get into your heart and your belly and tell me, not about what they do, about what you do. What do you do?
I've always felt like I deserve this.
You deserve what?
To be treated like that.
Like
in
what?
a sense.
That I don't deserve to be.
Y'all, now this is sad. Evelyn feels like she deserves to be cheated on. That's why I told you this was going to go deep. It's not just about shade. Definitely, this went deep. Evelyn feels I was cheated on. I don't care about the families. My concern is myself. My concern is keeping the money. And I don't feel like I deserve better. It's actually extremely sad.
Be respected. That I don't deserve to be honored. And that I have to give away my dignity, my majesty, in order to get them to love me. Just like me. Been there, done that. Just like me. And it's not going to get better, beloved, until you allow yourself.
Somebody said Evelyn is from the projects. I didn't come from money. But that doesn't mean I don't know. To each their own. But I think that it definitely makes me feel sad for Evelyn that she doesn't feel she deserves better. She's beautiful. She technically can make her own money. It's weird.
Yourself to tell yourself the ruthless, radical, down in the gutter, dirty truth about what you do to dishonor yourself.
Iyanla will definitely wear somebody out. Okay, so she also said this, you guys, and this went even deeper, but this was exactly what I needed to hear because this was at the tail end of my research on Evelyn. If you are new to the channel, definitely subscribe. We are now on the road to 75K.
What scares me the most is
Not being loved.
go deeper and repeat this for me. What scares me the most is
What scares me the most is being by myself.
Okay, take a breath. And when you think about this money and fame and fortune and the shoes and the chaos and what scares me the most is
What scares me the most is not having anything.
yes.
Bingo.
You've been there.
I've been there.
And that hurts. Yes.
Not having anything.
Yes.
What scares me the most is not having anything.
Yes.
There we go. Bingo. That's to the heart of it. Evelyn admitted that what scares her the most is not having these things, the money. I don't feel valued. I don't feel worthy enough to have somebody who loves me for me. I'm not necessarily going to be the person who cares that you're in a relationship. My concern is me because my biggest fear is being alone and not having these things. It's extremely sad. It's definitely, somebody said you can be a gold digger without being married men. True. I'm not even saying anything about sugar babies, gold diggers. I'm just saying we have now established a pattern. And the reason that what the new lady did to Evelyn hit her so hard was because Evelyn is always trying to revamp her image, even though she's not the person who cares. It is what it is. And she even let us know that. So to say, fight so hard to say, oh, I've never wrecked a home or whatever, it is what it is. Carl was the one who I take issue with. Carl is the one that I take umbrage with. And on top of that, Carl is out here talking about women. Let me show you this. You definitely had a 12-year relationship. However, you got with Evelyn while your baby mama was pregnant, got her pregnant as well. These two women had to work out their own stuff so that their children could grow up and still be family. But this is how Carl wants to talk about Megan.
My last Megan question, and we're gonna go to greener pastures.
Yeah.
Hi, it's been documented that Megan liked to smash her homegirl friends. Do you think she's like jealous of her or something? Why she keep on smashing her homies?
Why answer this question? Megan Thee Stallion is no longer your artist. Y'all had beef or whatever, but you're not innocent. The difference is Megan does it unapologetically. Don't make it right, but we know what we're getting with Megan. This is what she raps about. This is what she does in real life. Why are you, a grown-ass man, over here having a full-on conversation about who this woman smashes when you got two women pregnant at the same time? It's okay that you did it though, right? And they have to pick up the pieces and work out something so that their children can still be in each other's lives because you're the man with the money. See the difference?
Because she smashed a whole bunch of Kelsey's.
Man, for the people that know, man, it's just they just want everything. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like it's like if they feel like you got that because of they clout, you ain't gonna never meet no Tory Lanez without me. You know what I'm talking about?
Why are you having this full-on conversation? Let's talk about Amy and Evelyn. Let's go into detail about that.
That's mine. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't finna never. You wouldn't be up in this situation where I be. Nah, I got. You know what I'm talking about? That's the mentality it is, man. That's you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what goes on with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. You know, you got to understand.
It's my last Megan.
She had COVID at a time when people were dying every 3 to 4.
It's so funny to me that you have this grown man. Carl is, I think in 2017, he was still being paid $21 million a year not to play baseball. Carl is wealthy beyond measure. He's straight for the rest of his life. You had an issue with Megan. Allegations were that you used Kelsey to get back at Megan. Kelsey refused to actually submit what she needed to the courts. It's now done now. Why are you letting this man get you to talk about this woman, especially when your background ain't clean? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Let's get into Jackie Christie and Funky Dineva, because Jackie Christie and Funky Dineva, shout out to Fox Soul, have now shaken the table. And I think that everybody now wants to get rid of Jackie. I really do. This was the interview. Let me go ahead and make that bigger.
She's great. Me and Jennifer, we move in a different direction. People didn't expect to see us fall out last season. That's a good friend of mine. And then, Brooke, and you said Brooke Williams, but Brooke Bailey, she's here as well. She was back a couple seasons ago, and she's back again. So, and I think the difference with season 11 is you're seeing new women thrown in the mix. You got Brittany Renner, who's a fire. When I tell you, I hope they get to see her story. Me and her got some interaction that it has to be shown, because people are going to see the dynamic from a wife, a longtime wife, and a, I won't call her a newbie, but she is a young kid, player's baby's mother, child's mother, I like to call it. And she's got a huge story. Brittany's coming with some fire. I hope they show it all. And then you've got Clayana, who I thought
Jackie will always be the star of the show in my eyes, to be honest with you. Jackie Christie is quintessential reality TV crazy. Jackie Christie is the star of this show. Really. Somebody said Jackie's not crazy. I think she's the best kind of crazy. I love her. Absolutely. Some of her scenes, I would consider some of the top scenes on reality television. And that's why the other women don't like her. It's why when Evelyn came back and Jackie refused to go on stage unless she was sitting next to the host of the reunion, is exactly why Evelyn was never going to like her. Evelyn thought she'd be able to just come in, la-la-dee-da, not really do too much of anything. And Jackie said, no, your show failed because you left it. You left at the height because you didn't want to be associated with that anymore, because at that point, you were with OWN and you were with a man who was worth $150 million. But now you're in a situation where you had to come back because none of those relationships worked.
Great. She fell out with a lot of the women. You got to see how that all unfolds. It's just different energy, and I'm excited about it. And I think we're starting to move in a different direction. I do feel like they've taken me back a little because last season I carried that show again on my back, and they're letting some of these other women kind of, pull their weight.
To do some work.
Pull your weight,
right.
And I feel like, though, to be honest with you, and I'm saying this for the first time as I'm watching it pan out, I need to be back in the mix. I tried to, step back a little bit. It ain't giving. So
she knows that they want her gone.
To get back in there.
Jackie, what do you say to the people that say, Jackie, your ass too damn old to always be in the midst of these girls. You're always in the middle of everything. What do you say to that?
I laugh because all of us is in the same age group, so then that means the whole show is over. And then let's talk about Atlanta Housewives. Let's talk about Beverly Hills Housewives. Let's go down the list. Potomac, all of that. I don't really mind when they say that, because I feel like once you get 18 years old, you should know better. And with me, Funky, I'm what you see is what you get. I'm honest to a fault. I'm in your face. I'm truthful. You ain't gonna pull nothing over on me. So I think that's what they're really saying is, you need to stop. But then if I stop, then we need you back.
Then the show falls flat. Right.
There it is.
You used a very interesting word earlier. You used the word energy. And of course, we're always used to seeing Crump, Jackie Christie, and let's have a Ponderosa, Jackie Christie. But in a recent episode, you were a bit more personable when you took accountability for not showing up for Brooke after her daughter's passing. Tell us about that moment, and when did you...
Now, until this interview, I definitely just completely sided with Brooke. Same age group, exactly. I think Jackie might be 55 and Jennifer and Evelyn are either 50 or knocking on 50. So it's not like that big of a difference. Jackie skews older because she only wears black, and she just skews a little bit older. And she's still married and she's not dating around. So what you get from Jackie is a real basketball wife. Jackie was literally trying to fight another basketball player when Doug got into altercation when he was with the Lakers. That is a real ride or die.
Did you acknowledge your challenges with grief?
You know what? I love what you just asked me. And the reason I love that is because I actually went public. I don't know if you saw that, but after the episode aired, and I had to put, and I never do this. This is one of the first times I've ever done this in all my years, 11 years straight on reality TV. I had to let the editors know I didn't appreciate that, because I didn't take accountability for anything, because I already put it out publicly that as soon as we got the call from from Brandy that Brooke's daughter had passed away. Her beautiful daughter Kayla passed away. She said text Brooke. Everybody, she put it in a group chat to all of the cast. I was here in Sacramento, and I didn't text her. I called her. When I called her, her little niece or cousin or whoever this young lady is answered the phone. It was very sweet. She was like, Brooke told me to answer because the only person that calls with no caller ID is you. She wanted to let you know she appreciates you. She loves you. I said, tell her I love her. Anything she needs, I'm here. I don't care what it is. And that was that. And so we started talking text-wise. So when I got to the reunion, we went to dinner the night before with the production company, and she was fine. We were laughing, talking, everything was great. But then when the reunion came, for it to all of a sudden be you're this and you're that, it kind of caught me off guard. And one thing I'm about is love and respect, and I'm not going to talk about
Brooke. I feel like last season, they really wanted Jackie off. I think that Jackie, we believe that Jackie needs to come out and post all the receipts, like all the receipts. You can say a lot about Jackie, but she authentically herself and has been the same for 30 years. Yeah, my heart goes out to Brooke because that type of grief, I can't even imagine losing your child like that. They say that the worst grief is a parent losing a child. I can't imagine, but I need to see the receipts in this situation because Brooke has come out firing against Jackie.
talk about someone that's needing to be resting with God in a derogatory way, but I was very taken aback. So it was like, wait, where is this coming from? And I'm going to respect you and let you say whatever you're saying because I felt it was a part of her grieving. But please don't misrepresent me. And then it kept coming on the internet, so I went public, and I don't do that. But I put all my receipts out to put a stop to it because they were contacting my kids. They were saying mean things to my family, and I said, that's one thing I don't do. So I'm going to go ahead and put the truth out here so y'all could see. And then everything went away, and then it was, oh, we see that Jackie wasn't lying. So then when it came time to shoot season 11, I got asked 15 different times, begged pretty much, please, we really need you to do this scene. I said, I don't want to talk about her beautiful daughter anymore. Please let that baby rest in peace. This is starting to get really weird. I don't want to, no. And I got really aggressive about it. I had meetings with different people and said, do not ask me to talk to her again. I've already settled it. Well, one scene came up, shopping. I was tricked into coming.
Now, this is where Shawnee gets into it. Now, Shawnee's upset with Jackie because Jackie's giving behind the scenes of production, and you know that's never good. And although Shawnee, is, the first lady, this is also her bread and butter. So Shawnee will never have another Jackie. You could have a bunch of beautiful Brooks and Evelyn and Jennifer and her Rolls Royces and everything like that, but not one of them is really willing, unless they're fighting with Jackie, to really go there. Jackie is that girl. Jackie's definitely that girl. When Jackie ran through Crystal Brink's event after she had pushed that woman's assistant down, I list that as one of the best moments of reality television in history. Jackie Christie will always be that girl, and she brings it out of the they use Jackie for the moment. Exactly. Jackie does not care, and don't cross her.
About you having a daughter that they say is a builder whore.
Yes, that was one of the most hilarious scenes. If you watched it and the build up, her sicking her friends, I'm not gonna hit her. Get that beat. That was one of the best moments. I'm not even gonna lie. Jackie doesn't play.
Coming to the scene, I got in the scene, and then it was this, what you saw on that unfolded. And it wasn't said like that. I again reiterated, look, I already went public and put all that out there. I apologize for having to do that, but
the point is, Brooke is now mad. So I'm going to show you guys. Shout out to All True Tea. It's one of my favorite blogs. Definitely check her out. I actually really like this lady. Her name is Monique. She's about to be at her 40,000 Instagram followers, but she followed this whole thing. And after Jackie did that, Brooke came out swinging. She said, you definitely did not beat my ass on season 2. Please stop the cap. Didn't nobody pull you off me? Now, what we do know about that fight is the fight was so bad, it changed the way VH1 could show fights. It changed VH1 for the rest. I don't know now, for like the last 10, 11 years, they can't show fights in the same way. They did a little bit on Love and Hip Hop with Jocelyn and them, but it definitely, for Basketball Wives, we had seen Tammy smack the out of a few of them. They couldn't do it anymore. Brooke said, yes, Jackie Christie said on the phone with British too that she would slap the F out of Shawnee. And she's hiding from her, and she needs to do a show called Preacher's Wives. I was on the call. I heard it, y'all. Y'all need to go back to Miami, then do these interviews, being fake. Slap me for what? She must have been on that brown because that's making her round, because there's no way with the F that I do. So Brooke is now stirring the pot against everybody. Shawnee said, now wait a minute, Jackie wants to slap me. Technically, it's good for the show. They're saying that they got like 1 million viewers across all platforms, which is really good for Basketball Wives. But it says this, let her tell you're helping the numbers. Shake my head, Evelyn says. I always knew the love was fake. Calling me last season to help the ratings. And when I do, there's an issue. No matter what side of the fence we're on, we're all on the same team. This is not a competition. They want Jackie out. And Evelyn, what do you mean the love was fake? All it would take would be one time of...
About you having a daughter that they say is a build-a-whore.
That would be it. That would be it. That would be the last time that we needed to talk. My daughter is a what? But, you know, you don't really care. Just like you're around Jennifer again, and Jennifer said that all kinds of stuff about your daughter. So it's like, it's questioning, you can be at a job with somebody, but there would be no way we would be kiki and ha-ha.
Daughter was when she was 16 years old with anybody around Miami, and that her body, not real, fake.
There's no way. So if you do watch the show, you saw that her daughter was like, I'm uncomfortable in the situation, because on the first scene, Jennifer was invited to her birthday party and her daughter had to be there around somebody who definitely violated her. So, you know, it is what it is. But Brooke says she continues. Let's see. I'm putting together a Ponderosa with everyone you talked shit about behind their back. Let's start with British being too ghetto for the show. Your words. I don't know if she's ghetto, but she's definitely a scammer. And too ghetto for this show. Just saying. It's really bad. Brooke also says that she needs to keep her daughter's name out of her mouth, or she really will hurt Jackie. And I can believe that, because Brooke is still grieving. I will be tuned into Basketball Wives. I will definitely be tuned into Angela Yee and Jennifer's documentary on one of Jennifer's scamming dudes. But shout out to the young lady who is part of that. I reached out to her. She was very nice to me because my PI needed a little bit more information on the Detroit scammer, the Detroit alleged scammer. So shout out to her. I will be, if I can, I'll put in the description of when you can find their documentary on VH1. I'm curious to know, did you kind of see where I was going with any of the stuff involving Jennifer and Evelyn specifically? Because I am starting to feel like, you know, the jig is up. You've worked what you could work. You've used what you had to get what you want for as long as you could. And now you at this point, you should be seeing that you got to take a different direction, especially Jennifer. The first thing you need to do with everybody that you date is a full background check investigation, just because you don't want some situations arising where you find out. Maybe she did know about Christian not being her fiance's real name. And maybe she did. Hold on one second. Shout out to Couture Bay. I just found her channel. I go in there and I clown. I try to throw her off her game all the time. She just went viral. So congratulations. And I saw somebody else in here, Trending. Trending is doing a great job with Love and Marriage Huntsville stuff. So shout out to her as well. She's keeping her ears to the street. Measured Man, thank you for the super chat. He says, church folks got their foot on the gas and next. Not a good look to say church folk get on my nerves. He must be talking about Shawnee. Thank you for the super chat. Anyway, you got to do better. You have to I want nothing but happiness for everybody. At the end of the day, this is just a reality show. But once I started seeing the pattern, it was like, damn. So hopefully, you know, Christian is a very reformed person. Hopefully Jennifer and Christian go the distance, but when I saw domestic violence, 7-year sentence, a new name, an alias, it was just kind of like, it felt like same of the more. Same person, same type of man she consistently keeps getting and going for. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. We are on the road to 75,000. I'm going to see you guys later. These deep dives take days. So have a good one.